Well, warm greetings to all sisters, to all brothers from India, especially today, and all over the world that are joining us today for this very special event in which we, 1 month later, commemorate Women's Day with 3 wonderful young ladies from the Theosophical Society in India. This Indian Youth Panel, entitled Challenges of the Youth and Theosophical Solutions, has been organized as a part of an effort to not only take the opportunities given by these technologies to get together, but also to bring together these young people that are working so beautiful, so hard for the Theosophical movement as a space to sharing together in unity and brotherhood or siblinghood, in spite of the physical distances and frontiers that are ultimately only an illusion, as we know we are united by the divine in us. And with this thought of unity in our mind, before introducing our speakers of today, let's come together for short minutes and repeat the Universal Invocation, after which we can stay a couple of minutes in that feeling of unity, sending good vibrations to all the living beings. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May all who feel themselves as one with thee know they are therefore one with every other. Let us send our good thoughts to every human being, to every living being, in all the directions from the bottom of our heart. Peace, peace, peace. Well, welcome once more. As you may know, at the end of the meeting, after our 3 panelists make their presentations, we will have a question and answer session. So kindly write your question in the chat box or raise your hand once the lectures concludes. And also, if you are watching through YouTube, you can type your question there and we will bring it up to the speakers. Few requests, as always, is to keep your mics closed, and please, your participation is very, very valued and very important to keep our discussion vibrant. So please don't doubt of put your comments, your questions, anything that comes to your mind, of course, related to the subject, and with all the respect and also being very brief. Now I'm very happy to welcome and introduce to you to these 3 young promises of the Theosophical movement in India and of course in the world. We are very, very grateful with each one of them for accepting our invitation to make part of this program. I'm going to introduce our first speaker, Shreyashi Oya, who is born and brought in a multicultural family. She has a keen interest in philosophical affairs and occult science. She is a postgraduate in ancient history from the University of Allahabad, and she's an active member of the Theosophical Society. She was one of the panelists in the second youth program organized by the Indian section of the Theosophical Society in Varanasi. The theme of which meeting was Truth, Beauty, and Goodness. She then delivered a talk on Look Beyond Yourself and the first object of the Theosophical Society. In the last international convention, under the Indian section presentation, she spoke on Theosophy and Truth, the role of C.W. Leadbeater and Giordano Bruno. The Theosophy and Truth was in the International Convention, and during the Adyar Day celebration that was in February, she spoke about the role of C.W. Leadbeater and Giordano Bruno. She is an ardent disciple of the tenets of the Theosophical Society and really believes in the motto Satyam Nasti Parodharma. She strives to propagate and popularize the message of the Theosophical Society amongst the youth, which I believe she's already doing very good. Shreyashi is part of the UP and UK Federation of the Theosophical Society in India. And today she's going to talk about a very actual and important subject, mental health and theosophy. Please, Shreyashi, the floor is all yours. Thank you very much and welcome.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Good evening, brothers and sisters. I, Shreyashi Ojha, welcome you all on the occasion of Women's Day celebration. The theme of today's colloquy is Challenges of the Youth and the Theosophical Solution, and my topic of discussion is mental health and theosophy. Mental health. It can be defined as a person's condition with regard to their psychological and emotional well-being. The World Health Organization defines mental health as a state of well-being in which the individual realizes her or his own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to her or his community. Mental health affects how we think, feel, and act. As a matter of fact, mental health is a vast topic which requires a great amount of expertise and specialization. Therefore, I shall only speak on my understanding of it and its impact on the youth. To look at mental health through the prism of theosophy is the task of an inquisitive mind. Lucid discussions on mental health were not a part of the early theosophical texts by our founders. But if we carefully examine the ageless wisdom, we get enough information on the composition of how spiritual discourse can impact human health, including the mental health. Madame Blavatsky, in The Key to Theosophy, talks about the 7 principles or the 7 layers present in each one of us. These layers or principles are interpenetrated in every human. They include the Sthula Sharir, that is the physical body, the Linga Sharir, that is the astral body, Pran, that is the breath of life, Kam, also known as desire, Manas, which is dual in nature. It gravitates towards Buddhi in its higher aspect and in its lower aspect towards Kam. Buddhi, which is spiritual soul, and Atma, which is the spirit or the self. Therefore, while defining mental health through the lens of theosophy, one can say that mental health is a proper balance between the septenary. So, if the 7 principles are in equilibrium with one another, it can be accepted as a yardstick of a good mental health. In simple words, Mental health is to maintain a balance of the outer being with the inner self. In today's world, due to ignorance towards spirituality and theosophical texts, the manas, which is oscillating between buddhi and calm, resides mostly towards its lower aspect, which is the ordinary mind. Within the calm manas indwell the six enemies of the mind, also known as the Arishad Varga or the Shad Ripuhu. Adi Shankaracharya in Vairagya Dindima explains the Shad Ripuhu as Kamah Krodhascha Lobhascha Dehe Tishtanti Taskara Gyan Ratna Paharaya Tasmat Jagrat Jagrat. That is, desire, anger, greed, attachment, pride, and jealousy are the six dacoits residing within our body. Their aim is to loot us of the Gyan Ratna, that is the spiritual wisdom, and the Atma Gyan, that is the self-awareness. Therefore, O man, O sadhak, beware. The root cause of a man being caught in the web of Shadaripuhu can be attributed to desire, which also resonates the problems of the youth in today's scenario. A highly energetic youth with an exaggerated ambition in the hope of attaining material luxuries enters the maze of life, each of us on our own journey with predetermined goals. When we walk into the arena of life, we are drawn to the glitz and the glam. And just like a moth being drawn to the flame, we fall prey to failures, heartbreaks, loneliness, and many more such vices, which were supposed to be a part and parcel of our journey. But because we live under the false pretense of pride, we do not share our feelings. There is a constant sense of comparison, and we forget to grow where we were planted. This constant sense of comparison has been exacerbated by the use of social media. If we talk about applications such as Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp, Facebook, that were supposed to bring us closer to our loved ones, have now become the main cause of breakaway. This is because they hype the lies that we feed to ourselves on a daily basis. Where counting the number of likes and comments on a picture or the number of followers is a moment of prestige. Unfortunately, our life has become limited to virtual reality. We look at the rich and the famous and follow them blindly. We fascinate over brands and gauge one's character over them. Can you imagine the amount of pressure being faced at such a tender age? And all for what? Mere peer pressure over shallow pursuits in a world that was built by us. To quote Jiddu Krishnamurti, we are the world. The world is you and me. The world is not separate from you and me. Yet the shallow pursuits lead us to spiraling of thoughts of regret, followed by dissatisfaction, decreased confidence, insecurity, prolonged sadness, and diminishing mental health. We feel suffocated, frustrated, and hollow from within. But we do not share how we feel. Moreover, we do not like to ask for help or advice from our elders, not because we don't admire them, but because we feel that they will not be able to understand us. The reason for this is that the time has changed. What success meant for them was intangible, family-oriented, but for us it is temporary and material. And finally, one day, we find ourselves standing all alone in a crowd of familiar faces, but no one to call a friend. Not only boxing up of feelings and comparisons, but also getting exhausted at an early age of life is what youth face today. We want everything instantly. What can I say? I myself am a fan of instant noodles, but my mother always points out, Jaisa khai ann, vaisa hoye man. This mindset of living a fast life and getting everything instantly is also one of the causes for deteriorating mental health. To quote a poem by W.H. Davies called leisure. What is this life so full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. And how true is that? We are so full of doing, having, acting, being that we forget to cherish the beautiful gift of life. Such way of life impacts not only the individual, but also the country on the whole. The nation suffers at the hands of low demographic dividend because the youth become a burden to the economy and the economy becomes stagnant, which leads to unemployment and the mental health further deteriorates. The individual constantly spirals in regret and resorts to substance abuse, and the cases of alcoholism and drug abuse rise. Unable to attain the luxuries through hard work leads some to walk the path of felony and crime. Merely to attain a facade of luxurious life, young people resort to unfair means, which gives rise to extremities and intolerance. Having lost the balance of life, mental disorders increase. From a very young age, people battle depression, and those who cannot put up a good fight resort to suicide. In recent times, COVID-19 restrictions heightened this venomous circle of deteriorating mental health, which tightened the noose, and many were strangulated at its hands. Increasing suicide rates and rising cases of depression are a cause of concern. We are so deep into the bog of charade that we have stopped even recognizing ourselves. This is where theosophical discourse can help us in reminding us who we really are, in understanding that a simple life with fulfillment of necessities and not luxuries is better than being caught in a web of desire, in acknowledging the truth, in gathering knowledge of our true self. In chapter 14, verse 5 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Sattvam Rajastam iti guna prakriti sambhava nibadnante mahabahu dehe dehinamavyayam. That is, O mighty Arjun, the material energy consists of three gunas or modes. That is, sattva, goodness, rajas, passion, tamas, ignorance. These modes bind the eternal soul to the perishable body. Now, consider the example of a three-colored painting. If any one color is released in excess, then the picture acquires a hue of that color. Similarly, Prakriti has the ink of these three modes, and our soul is swayed by their influence. The Sattva Gun is the mode of goodness and purity. It binds the soul by creating attachment for a sense of happiness and knowledge. Rajas Gun is the mode of passion. It arises from worldly desires and binds the soul through attachment of fruitive action. Tamas Gun is born of ignorance and causes illusion. It deludes the living beings through negligence, laziness, and sleep. From the perspective, the youth are heavily embodying Rajaskun and Tamaskun, whereas Sattvagun remains devoid. We all know that thoughts conform into action. Therefore, to increase the Sattvagun, the thoughts of goodness and purity must be infused into the minds of the youth. This can be done through the means of spiritual discourse, meditation, and counseling. Srimad Bhagavad Gita simply comprises of the anecdotes of the counseling by Lord Krishna, where Lord Krishna resolves the dilemma of a young Arjun in the battlefield of life. But how do we attain a friend and a guide, such as Lord Krishna? To quote Shiva Puran, Sangatya Gururapya Gurur Mantradi Pujanam Pujana Jayate Bhaktir Bhaktya Jnanam Prajayate. That is, a good preceptor, that is a guru, is secured only through association with good people, that is Sat Sangati. From the mantra given by the guru, the modes of worship, bhakti, can be learned, which gives birth to knowledge. This can be done through the use of workshops, symposiums, seminars, and informal get-togethers, where young people are encouraged to share their journey. Once they let out their emotions, the flow of energy which has shrunk shall again gain pace. So let us join hands and pray for those in need, for as and when they procure the courage to share their journey with us. But until then, it is our duty as the members of the Theosophical Society to develop a conducive environment, for the time has come. By fulfilling the first object of the Theosophical Society and forming a universal brotherhood, let us reiterate the ageless wisdom by promoting and propagating the second and the third object of the Theosophical Society, and by freeing ourselves of the six enemies of mind. Let us welcome a better tomorrow. Name dvesha rago, name lobha moho, mado naiva me naiva, matsarya bhavah, na dharmo na chartho, na kamo na mokshah, chidananda rupah, shivoham shivoham. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Rajashi, for such a complete and full of clarity and to the point presentation. You not only have expressed very well the problems, but also the possible solutions. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And moving on with our meeting, let us meet Kritika Goel, also from the UK Federation of the Theosophical Society. Kritika is an engineering graduate who has pursued her B.Tech in mechatronics from Banashtali Vidyapith, Rajasthan. Sorry for the pronunciation. I hope I did it good. She is a native of Ghaziabad and a young member of Praya's Theosophical Lodge. She is a trained classical dancer. She likes to travel around the world and explore new things. Kritika is also a quick learner and enthusiast who likes to participate in public speaking and debates. She is always eager to help others in whichever way possible. She has participated in youth camp at Bovali and actively taking charge of coordinating camps and events of younger members and anchoring meetings as she does almost every Sunday as a regular facilitator and moderator in Young Indian Theosophies group. On this occasion, Kritika is going to talk to us about a subject that not only is very thought-provoking, but very necessary to reflect upon. She's going to share with us about the challenge of dealing with comparison and competition in today's world. Kritika, thank you very much. Welcome to this floor that is all yours, please.
Thank you so much, Sister Catalina, for the introduction and for the opportunity as well to speak and express what I feel on this topic. Namaste, everyone. Myself, Kritika Goel, and today I have chosen the topic, Challenges of Dealing with Comparison and Competition in Today's World. So before actually saying anything, I will begin with a short story. A German once visited a temple under construction where he saw a sculptor making an idol of God. Suddenly, he saw a similar idol lying nearby. Surprised, he asked the sculptor, "Do you need two statues of the same idol?" "No," said the sculptor without looking up. "We need only one, but the first one got damaged at the last stage." The gentleman examined the idol but did not find any apparent damage. "Where is the damage?" he asked. "There is a scratch on the nose of the idol," said the sculptor, still busy with his work. "Where are you going to install the idol?" The sculptor replied that it would be installed on a pillar 20 feet high. If the idol is that far up, who is going to know that there is a scratch on the nose? The the gentleman asked. The sculptor stopped his work, looked up at the gentleman, smiled, and said, I will know it. Fact, whether someone appreciates it or not. Excellence is a drive from the inside, not outside. It is not for someone else to notice, but for your own satisfaction and efficiency. It is me who should take the ownership of my activities, of my responsibilities, and of my karma. Because when you know that what you sow is what you reap, then what good will the one do who always peep? Is the current youth ready to find the me in all these situations? Are we ready to take the remote of our lives in our hands? Or keep on repeating the same mistake by getting controlled and get stuck in the loop of competition and comparison? In Theosophy, we have learned that everybody will eventually evolve, but we should know first, at what level am I? Acceptance to what we are is very, very important. If I have scored a 60%, then it should reach out as a 60 only to my neighbors, to my relatives, or whomsoever it may be, but not as a 80% or a 90%. With acceptance only, the flow will come. You know, they say that it's a race. But the youth should believe that the race is with no one else, but with our own self. Why do people attempt suicide and get into depression? Because we are not taught to cooperate, but always to retaliate. If we accept what we are and not step into the blame game, much pleasant and friendly place to live. Most of us are familiar with the beautiful speech Matthew McConaughey gave after winning an Oscar for this tremendous performance in the Last Buyers Club. In his speech, he naturally thanked the people he had been working for, but the most intriguing part comes when he decides to share something personal. His speech went on as follows. And to my hero, that's who I chase. Now, when I was 15 years old, I had a very important person in my life come to me and say, who's your hero? And I said, I don't know. I got to think about that. Give me a couple of weeks. I come back 2 weeks later. This person comes up and says, who is your hero? And so I thought about it and I said, you know, who is it? It is me in 10 years. So I turned 25. 10 years later, that same person comes to me and goes, so are you a hero? I was like, no, not even close. She said, why? I said, because my hero is me at 35. So you see, every day, every week, every month, and every year of my life, my hero is always 10 years away. I'm never going to beat my hero. I am not going to obtain that. I know I'm not. And that is just fine with me because that keeps me with somebody to keep on chasing. This particular part speaks to me in the sense that he is talking about the chase, a journey that is never over. On one side, it is about the unattainable, but on the other side, it shows that the real prize is in the journey. And that is what life is about. Everyone is their own future maker. This is what we study. It is your karma which will make you achieve everything, be it good or be it bad. I would like to share a poem, 9 Gold Medals by David Roth. The athletes had come from all over the country to run for the gold, for the silver and bronze. Many weeks and months of training, all coming down to these games. The spectators gathered around the old field to cheer on all the young women and men. The final event of the day was approaching. Excitement grew high to begin. The blocks were all lined up for those who could use them, the 100-yard dash and the race to be run. These were 9 resolved athletes in back of the starting line, poised for the sound of the gun. The signal was given, the pistol exploded, and so did the runners, all charging ahead. But the smallest amongst them, he stumbled and staggered and fell to the asphalt instead. He gave out a cry in frustration and anguish. His dreams and his efforts all dashed in the dirt. But as sure as I am standing here telling this story, the same goes for what next occurred. The 8 other runners pulled up on their heels, the ones who had trained for so long to compete. One by one, they all turned around and went back to help him and brought the young boy to his feet. Then all the 9 runners joined hands and continued. The 100-yard dash now reduced to a walk. And a banner above that said, Special Olympics, could not have been more on the mark. That's how the race ended, with 9 gold medals. They came to the finish line holding hands still, and a standing ovation and 9 beaming faces. Said more than these words ever will. When we are small, we start depending on others. When we come into existence, we eat, we dress up, and live like how our parents decide. And their favorite becomes ours. We believe that they can never be wrong. When we go to school, then we start depending, start identifying with our teacher. Ma'am has said that it can't be wrong. The color of our house, blue, green, yellow, or whatsoever it may be, becomes our favorite, just because we develop this feeling that my house should win in the inter-house competition, and gradually we start assuming that, oh, it is my favorite color. Yes, I said assuming. When we grow up, then we start identifying with our best friend. And then maybe the next is our beloved. And the chain goes on. But there comes a particular age, nothing matters. What her aunt is commenting, or what my daughter is saying, or what my husband is taunting, nothing. What matters is, what do I say to myself? The reality is, what we are, only we know. And when we know, then why should we wait for that age to come? Why not realize it this day, this moment, that it is me and should only be me? We should learn the art to handle fake appreciation and true feedback. We should walk along with everyone and not for the self. Live miraculously for others and expand your consciousness. When we know that we are going to come again and again to life, then why to fear from failure? I want you all to answer the following questions to yourself once this session is over, or maybe during this. Starting with, first of all, what are you? And if you find the answer, then why are you such? And how can you shift from this phase if it is not helping you much? And who do you think can help you in this situation? And at last, when do you want to change your life? Answer these questions to yourself, each one of you. Nothing is permanent. Change is the only constant, because change will change. The moment we break the chains of rigidity, life will become very easy. If you are going to do your best work and unleash your unique gifts in this life, you simply can't be concerned with how you are compared to others. That is their path. They have nothing to do with you. Here are a few ways by which life becomes so much more enjoyable when you stop comparing yourself to others. First of all, you actually begin to appreciate the progress that you make. rather than just telling yourself how much less progress you are making than somebody else. You allow yourself to celebrate victories, big and small. And celebrating those gives you the much needed energy to keep moving forward. Meanwhile, failures don't hurt as much. You can look at them for exactly what they are, no less, but also no more. Before, you made a huge deal out of small failures because you just kept thinking about how much further that put you behind somebody else. When you compare yourself to somebody else, you don't really focus on your work. All you think is how quick you are or aren't seeing results compared to the other person. It is distracting and can lead to poor quality work. There are probably a lot of people out there who would look up to you if you compose yourself as someone who believes in herself or himself and is proud of his or her accomplishments. The second you stop comparing yourself to others, you will be surprised to find that you actually inspire a lot of people. You really cannot be true self. Bring your unique talents. Do just what you are meant to do. Comparing yourself to others has a way of clouding who you really are and what your skills are. When you compare yourselves with others, you often aim to pretend that you are something that you aren't. We want people to think we are better than we are. And so we certainly cannot ask for help because that would be to admit that we aren't what we pretend to be. Once you stop comparing yourselves to others, you can actually ask those who are ahead of you for some advice. Once you free your mind of thoughts of comparison and competition, you can get those creative juices flowing. We are our most creative when we aren't worrying about something or anything at all. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kritika, for inspiring us with your energy, with the power of stories. And a thought that stayed in my mind is that excellence in something from the inside, actually taking that ownership of ourselves, as you very rightly pointed, is very, I guess, is the key of this existence. And it's very, very beautiful to see this in such a fresh, energetic way that you brought it to us today. Thank you again. Now we will continue with our next last speaker of today. Let me just, okay. We are going to welcome Puja Goley from the Marathi Federation of Theosophical Society in India. Puja is a 24-year-old woman who is coming in theosophy since her childhood, but started absorbing in the recent times of the teachings of the theosophy. Puja is a postgraduate in human development, human psychology. Currently, she's working as an English educator in Verantu Innovations Pvt. Limited, where she teaches phonetics to the kids to 4 to 7 years of age. Oh, that's nice. Puja is a kinesthetic learner, which means that she learns by doing. So she's learning the joy of life with her hobbies like dancing, acting, and recently she's developing also the hobby of reading. We welcome Puja to talk today on a subject that we have surely wondered about at some point in our lives: the struggle of surviving. Please, Puja, be welcome. Thank you very much. Puja, your voice is not coming. No, maybe the audio setting. You are now muted. No, maybe you go to the mic, down to the left. There is an arrow up in the side, and you can just select the speaker that you want to use. Not yet. Or you can maybe try to use the laptop's speaker. Let's see. I guess Puja has just restarted her connection. Let's see, she'll join soon. So in the meantime, while Puja joins us back, we remind you to keep your questions, comments ready for the discussion. Oh, she has joined again. Shika, can you please make her co-host? Okay, Puja, are you here? Can you hear me? Okay, let me just spotlight. Now you can try to speak and see if it works. Now you are connected to audio. It says you are able to hear me, but I don't know if you are able to talk. No.
Hello.
Oh, now it's coming. Thank you. Great. So, Puja, thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Yes. Thank you so much for a warm welcome. And so, good evening, everybody. I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to Shikhar sir, Catalina ma'am, Pragya CS Studio, and all the team members who made this meet possible. And my special thanks to Marathi Federation. So, thank you, everybody, for giving me this platform. And so today I'm going to share my ideas about struggle for survival. Now, so let's take struggle first. Okay. So when I say the word struggle, what do you think? What comes in your mind? Somebody drowning in water, bobbing up and down. Is this what you think? Or survival? Okay. Or somebody in jungle, dodging the wild animals. So this is survival. Huh? Even I thought first when I heard the word survival, I thought, somebody's in the water and bachao, save me, something like that. So that is the first thing we think when we hear those words survival. This comes to my mind. But then now the thing is different. So these are the instinctive ideas about the survival, right? Like Darwin said, survival of the fittest. But have you ever thought about a struggle where somebody is unable to reach his spiritual goal for growth? This could be a struggle, right? And that's what we all are doing here, right? Correct? Are we all on same page? Hey, yes. So now we know survival isn't just physical, but beyond it. So what kind of struggle are we seeking? Is somebody seeking struggle? I am. Everybody is. So, like, what is the goal of Theosophy? That is to reach our spiritual transformation through serving humanity and unity of all life. So the survival we all are picturing about is tough and will need a lot of efforts in terms of commitment, devotion, determination, and consistency. So, but now the modern idea of struggle is to, is striving to merely fulfill the daily needs, like having the monthly salary to spend on the backlog bills and fulfilling the daily house chores, right? This is what we are thinking what surviving is. Indeed, these things are one of the core in building the amazing human. These things are really important. But I want to emphasize that it is just a part. So treat it as a part. I believe I'm here to do something and not just complete the monthly household duties. I don't want to spend my life just doing things which will build me physically, preparing me for the challenges of life, what we are waiting for, but to do something which will let me feel the bliss, the ecstasy. though I have not found it, whatever I'm talking about, I'm in the journey. We can say my path is ambiguous, but my goal isn't. This is insane, but I would like to share. One day I thought I want to be a particle here. A particle? Really? Now I'm a human and I want to be a particle? Maybe soil, water, space, or something else. One day I was just thinking, and this thought came to my mind. I want to be a particle so that I could be here. Not in a cycle of birth and rebirth and everything, but just be present here, just exist here. And that's why I wanted to be a particle, maybe just existence in any form. So something I'm thinking, this is the beginning and survival I'm seeking. This is what I think. Now let's come to struggle. Right now we were discussing about survival. So now the word struggle, the moment we hear this, there is a non-positive vibe starts flowing around us, right? Because most of the people consider it as an obstacle than opportunity, right? This is an obstacle. Everybody agrees? Yes, this is an opportunity, but for our own upliftment, it is like an elevator. The more we are into struggle, the more is the chance of upliftment and enhancement of our lives. Until now, we are viewing struggle as an hitch, difficulty, because many people don't have the lens of theosophy. We are lucky, right? But it's a default part of life, a necessary part with which our structure is incomplete. Yes, struggle somewhere makes us complete. It's an important part of our lives. For example, is it okay if we consider one of our body parts as not necessary? Hands, legs, eyes. I won't be able to see, right? If I don't have my eyes, it will be really difficult to continue my daily work. And if there are no hands, my all outer work will be paused. Like, just I won't be able to do anything. So our respiratory system, be it any part, every inch of our body is highly necessary. So even absence of one part of the body will disturb our routine highly. So basically what I mean is, as all the body parts being important is a fact, similarly, presence of struggle in our lives is also very important. And it is simple, an unquestionable fact. Until now, we have a thought that struggle is a necessary evil. This sentence is just partially true. Why? Because struggle is necessary. This is correct. But it is an evil. It is not correct. Yes, I admit it feels unfair sometimes because we feel this way as we don't have the bigger picture. No, I don't want this. This is too much for me. We think like this because we are human, no? So it's obvious for a human mind to feel this way. So being a small particle in the cosmos, it's completely normal to feel, this struggle and feel like this is unfair to me. But if we give a thought to this, when we are in our struggling period, don't we push our limits to solve the issues or try to conquer the issues? Do you agree? So we are actually in the process of enhancing our potentials without knowing about it. Amazing, isn't it? We didn't give a thought that there is actually something happening beside the existence of the struggle. When we see struggle, it's just struggle for us. So means when we thought about struggle, we could not see that there is something else besides struggle. Like the kid, like there's an example, like the kid only eats the food like roti sabzi or dal chawal, whatever, and not knowing the intake of nutrients he is having or consuming. For him, the only existence that he's just eating the food, and just because mother is saying, or he's hungry, whatever. So for him, consumption of food is the only existence, and not even realizing that this altogether is that there is a different picture about this, that the motto is to feed him the nutrients and not just the food. Definitely the food is important, like the struggle is important. No, it builds us in a different way. But then the nutrients which we are getting through struggle is really to be, to notice. So when we grow up and start dealing with struggles, we are like this, not even realizing the nourishment impact of struggles we will be getting after this. So I want to add one point. When the kid eats the food, the nutrient gets absorbed by the body, and they positively work in the body for the growth. But I would like to attract your attention here. We don't grow up just by eating one meal, right? So we have to eat now 3 meals a day to feel fresh, to feel nourished, to feel active. So similarly, we get our nutrients from struggle. Definitely they're invisible, but as we eat many meals to get a proper nutrition, we have to cross through many struggles too. So now you're getting this, right? This is a tremendously long and tedious process. So we need to be patient, right? As soon as we compare this with nutrient example, we suddenly realize its longness and its real necessity. Struggles are necessary, right? So in this struggling process, it is necessary. It is a necessarily continuous process. In order to live, we eat to get nutrients and we use it, we rest, we again eat, and the process continues. So, and what remains are the instincts, or the vritti to work again and again. In this process, we are clear from where we are getting our nutrients to live our life. That is our struggles. Life and struggles go hand in hand. So really, struggles are something that blossoms us, our potential, our outlook, our choices, basically us, the human being as a whole. And later on, we just need the food and nutrients, and then we know the drill about it. Like, we are okay about it. We know how to use our precious energy that we got from this tedious process. They're really valuable, isn't it? Because we earned it with this tedious and tremendous efforts, and doing with consistency. So this energy is really precious. So this is the outlook that Theosophy has given to us. Whether we approach Theosophy or not, but Theosophy definitely approaches us who are really capable and potential. And trust me, we all are potential human beings of doing wonders. So let's do wonders. So struggles start from the moment we take our first breath. Do you all agree, or do you realize this? Why and how? An infant, when we were infant as well, definitely. So when an infant has to struggle from breathing even to swallowing the milk, now he has to learn everything. Though they learn it quite quickly, because this is an innate urge to satisfy the hunger and the survival. Even if he won't breathe, how will he survive, right? So he has to learn for survival. So this is the basic survival I was talking about in the beginning. So as we grow up, our definitions or aspects of hunger changes, and so our intensities and actions. And this choice of definition of anger decides the depth of our work power and customizes our own ultimate struggle. Deep, isn't it? Let me repeat it once again. As we grow up, our definitions or aspects of hunger changes, and so our intensities and actions. And this choice of definition of hunger decides and customize our own ultimate struggle. So basically, this choice designs the kind of struggle we will be in. So we need to choose wisely, right? The struggles can be in emotional, academic, spiritual, physical, communicational struggle, social, intellectual, adolescence, and whatnot. Mental too. And most important, the fear of not being able to overcome the struggles. The fear is most important to us because this overcoming could help us in fulfilling the desire of achievements. How funny. We are afraid of being in the struggle only. We are struggling because we fear about struggle. Irony, right? Ironic. Okay. So all this chaos leads to another struggle. That is the transition struggle. I have experienced this. In fact, everybody did. But none was able to call it a struggle. I'll tell you why. Transition struggle comes in a continual. Continual is something, a line, okay? Like the integer line from minus and plus. It is a continual till infinity line, no? That line. That is continual. Which just walks and never stops. This is a loop, but every particle is an individual and is different. Like in a circle, imagine a circle. Like we all know, circle is made up of like unlimited points joining together, making a whole circle. But just imagine, like even if the one point is missing, there won't be a circle, right? So every individual counts and it is important and they matter. So like in a circle full of tangents coming out, no? All the tangents, just imagine a line coming out of each point. They'll tell you that this figure will tell you that yes, all the individual are important. Though the circle is a continuous loop, but tangents show us that every particle makes a difference in the circle. So, as in a continual, there is transition between every particle, and we have struggle while moving on to the other particles. So, this transition struggle arises between the spaces. Just a second. Yeah. So this transition struggle arises between the spaces, that is between two particles, when the energy moves from one point to the other. The resistance, the energy experiences while flowing. Just a second. The resistance, the energy experiences while flowing. This is the struggle. Now the resistance is the struggle while flowing. So it's a struggle where one faces while moving from one phase to the other. Here are some examples. Like there are endless examples for the transition one, but then I would like to name a few. When a kid moves from preschool to school to college to the different opportunities, to the arena of opportunities and disappointments, there is a struggle. There is a transition struggle. When a kid has to go from preschool to school, oh, everything will be new. From a school to college, oh my god, there will be a college, some new subjects, new friends, new everything. The whole life around the kid changes. This is a transition. And definitely the further struggles. A retired person who worked for nearly 40 years in his office, who now is nostalgic for his past memories, but at the same time he's excited about he'll do some things in the retired life, and I'll do this and that and gardening and everything. So this is a transition, but it is just for a short moment. That's why people may not find it as a struggle. A pregnant lady who's continuously experiencing a change inside out, from physical state to emotional state. Everything changes, the whole system changes. So there is struggle, there is transition struggle. So the struggle dealing with all these flows of the transition, this is what we're talking about. Here we are in a chaotic moment dealing with energy of pendulum, where we are moving from one set of emotion to the other. At one place, we are nostalgic, sad, living with sad memories, enduring it. And on the other side, we are happy, excited, curious, eager. We are pendulum, right? Yes, all this happens in a small transitional moment. Maybe this is the reason it is not recognized, as I mentioned. But this state is really important, as it decides the energy for you to pass in the next stage. The previous stage is equally important, because this is the energy that will push us to move to the next stage. So it is not small. It is not small, not silly, not minute, but it is magnificently important. As I said, every passing moment is a struggle, as we are constantly moving. The moment we start accepting its existence, whose existence? The struggle's existence. That will be the moment where you will start enjoying its continuity, as this will be as simple and as eternal truth like we are breathing. Unquestionable fact, right? That's why we are living. This is as simple as that. Most people fail to accept this ongoing process, and this is why they unknowingly refuse the eternity of life. Though they later might learn to accept it, but for now, it is non-acceptance. So this may take time to resume their path, but they will reach to the destined path. The most prominent struggle that questions and tests me is my own existence and purpose. Survival, right? This is the topic. Existence and purpose. This is the most basic question of life. But now we are living in an advanced state of life. I'll tell you how. And all these struggles that I mentioned earlier, the physical, mental, adolescence, communication, and all that. All the struggles that I mentioned earlier lies in this advanced state. No doubt those struggles really challenges the human life in such a way that we humans are behaving in a typical way, different from the original one. So for returning to the classics, that is the original state, we need to act smartly by winning the challenges, or by at least balancing them in a way that allow us to work on our classics. Though the order will be from advanced to basic, but yes, anyway, we are living in a diplomatic and complex life where order doesn't matter, just the absolute result. So sometimes I feel that this process of untying the struggles will go through achievements of spiritual struggles. Referring to the achievements, this term is highly necessary, important, and satisfying to all the human beings. We humans intensely work towards achievements, be it towards money, career, family happiness, winning a game or sports, or even in the simplest things. Like cooking to be done in the time, like 1 hour I have to complete, 1.5 hours I have to complete, or walking faster than someone on road. Let me complete. I'm walking and let me complete. Let me, go ahead of that man. I'll win something. This is silly, but it works, right? So it is important. We constantly focus on this. Even in mind, decide something silly competition and win it, and sillily be happy too. Actually, what makes us happy is that it let us have the feeling of accomplishment, and this is through struggle we face while achieving it. Now, everybody loves that achievement feeling. Wherever it is, we all love it, and that's how somewhere it motivates us to move forward and continue our journey. Our potential blossoms when we go through struggle. Actually, struggle means a process to strive to your goals, like a diamond which goes through a lot, like literally a lot. Then it deserves its shine, clarity, basically its important, its magnificent value. So struggle is really a vital part of life that actually is steering our lives to its definite purpose. The things, this thing can be viewed from a different lens perspective. As there are many eyes, there has to be many views, right? 1, 2, 3, many. There are different views as well. Like it is said, we all have a preordained purpose. That is, pehle se tay kya hua. Like pehle se decide ho gaya hua. So it's preordained purpose. This majestic concept is stirred by the concept called existentialism. You may have heard this term already, but the term is existentialism. This existentialism concept by Jean-Paul Sartre, a Frenchman, tells us that we all are individuals came to this world freely without any decided purpose. And here people are responsible of themselves, their deeds, their conscious choices. Basically, total freedom came with total responsibility. He induced the question that what if we are born without any hardwired purpose, and then it's up to us to find our essence, that is our purpose. So even when we are under this theory, this says that we are responsible for choosing whatever way we want, either away from theosophy or towards theosophy. Just though we do not have any preordained purpose, we cannot deny the existence of reincarnation. This topic itself explained in the theosophical literature very well. So the present life is somehow affected by a past life, that is karma. So whether coming here in this world as a free particle by the existentialism theory, or by having a preordained path or a purpose, the one who are meant to be here, meant to work towards the divinity, will be here, will come here. Though the ways might be different, some might get curvy, zigzag, with lots of crests and troughs, or just straight and simple pathways. You will get here anyway if you are meant to be here. But your deeds work matters a lot. We fondly call this as karma. So your karma must be in a way that lead you here faster. After all, your karma are the vital things that decides a kind of customized path for you to reach the divinity and your struggles for the survival here, even in the mental, physical, or spiritual, any plane for that matter. So this is the real struggle. We are unconsciously facing it, and we don't realize it just because it is unconsciously present. Again, I would like to remember the ones I mentioned earlier, like emotional, physical struggle. They all are fit for this dimension, the human dimension. And what we are talking is all about a different dimension, that is the divine. So the struggles are never lowly. It is actually the supreme, because it tells you what you can do and your potential. So your potential is much higher, folks, more than you realize. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Puja, for such a energetic talk. And when you said my path is ambiguous, but my goal isn't it, it's like a very motivating sentence that actually shows the way, as you show during all your talk, how the struggle and the suffering have a very practical and important part in our development as human beings. So thank you very much for all that, for showing that our potential blossoms during this journey, and for all the analogies that you use to make us understand your very valuable points. Thank you very much. So after these three complete, vibrant, deep, clear, and of course, thought-provoking, but not only thought-provoking, but action-provoking presentations, I guess all of us have a lot to ponder and reflect about. And for sure, comments, questions, and sharing will enrich this coming discussion. I can see already many positive comments thanking all the three speakers for the very important presentations that, as I mentioned, are also very leading us, inspiring us to the practice. That is really some of the goals that we have as human beings and as theosophists. So I have to say that I am debating. I feel very inspired, very happy and motivated by all this energy of seeing all the uniqueness of each presentation. I want to congratulate you three again. And now let us open for questions, comments. I would like to begin bringing one question that came in our YouTube channel. I guess it is a general question. I will request if the three of you can answer. The question is from Brother Dinakaran from Kerala Federation. He wants to know what in your opinion we can do to attract more youngsters to the Theosophy in the present world. So maybe we can, whoever wants to answer, if you want, Sreyashi and Kritika, you can keep your microphone open. And maybe if Sreyashi wants to begin with the answer to this question, we can take the same order to answer these questions, Sreyashi, Kritika, and then Puja, and then we'll go for individual questions also.
Thank you all. And yes, this is a very important question that has been asked, because I think the youth are not very interested in meditation or God, or if you ask me, if I talk about it in front of my friends, they are not very interested in it. I think how we can sort of drive them towards it is by beginning to talk about it. If we do not talk about something, we do not reach there. The first revolutions always begin with ideas. Until and unless we do not put the idea at the right time, at the right place, in the minds of the people, it will not be fruitful. So I think first will be the beginning of talking about such things on various social media platforms, as I've already illustrated that social media has its pros and cons. So we should use social media as a source so that we can mediate what we want to offer to the world. That is one thing. And another thing that I think will be helpful is that a lot of youth nowadays are going towards meditation. They are even going towards exercising, or they want to remain fit in life, and they want to go vegan or follow a ketosis diet. So all this is somewhat driving towards the same sort of life which we were living in the earlier times. If we augment such a life, if we augment this and sort of propagate it through Theosophy, through this society, because we already have a platform, I think it'll be a lot more helpful than it is right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Sreyashi. Kritika, you want to add something?
Yes, so basically what I think is that youth goes towards the presentation, as in if you will see some boring picture or some boring text, so that will not drive you towards reading it. So basically attractive things drive the children to read it or to go towards it. So we should try to change the method of like what we do in our lodge. We give the books to, we teach the text to the little children, like at the feet of the master or I promise. So right from the beginning, if you are teaching such texts in a different way, in an interesting way, that will drive the children, that will drive their interest. Okay, what is happening, why is the text different from what we read in schools? So this is one thing. Also other thing is, I believe that theosophy is not important. Ultimately the path is, the goal is important. So whatever the way they choose, it might be through some other guru or like meditation, or like Sister Shreya, she said, going vegan. So the path is not important, going towards the goal is important. So we should spread our thinking to the youth. It's not mandatory that we'll say come join Theosophical Society, because when I started reading the text, I was not that crazily driven. I went to Bhowali camp, and my motive was, okay, we are doing debates. But then eventually when I started participating, it got my interest. So this is what I believe. Thank you.
Thank you, Kritika. Puja.
I think this outlook and opportunities will be helpful. Like Kritika said, her ideas, when she went to the camp, and at that time she started developing interest in this. So same happened with me. Like there was a camp in Nagpur too, and I participated. So that's how I actually started interest. Like I said, kinesthetic learning by doing. When I was completely into it and doing something, that made me join this. So an outlook will be the daily problems, like Shreyashi also said, they're like social media problems and this and that. So this will be helpful when we try to change the outlook, like how they see the problem, why we are here and why we are okay with it, because we try to see its positivity. Like we in all the lectures we decide not see the big picture, struggle is just the just a part of it, but you still see the struggle. Like it's the same youth or just see the struggles and not the big picture. That is why they are not aware of the thing that this is a part and we need to go through it smoothly, accepting it and not by resisting it. So outlook and opportunity, because I got an opportunity to talk here or to participate in camp or do anything, so that made me came here again and again. So outlook and opportunity, what I am rooting about.
Thank you very much. I guess we will make our notes, because actually, as the three of you agreed, I guess these new generations are more action generations, action guided generations, and yeah, of course, the theory is like a basic ground, but as far as you stay in the theory, there won't be a real inspiration, a real change in general, not only, as Kritika mentioned, in Theosophical Society, but any field of our present world, through any path that we choose to take, which leads us really to the discovery of ourselves. And I guess those thoughts are very valuable for all of us, and to motivate young people, not only young in body, but young in souls and mind. That is something that comes very often here in our Theosophical Society. Our sister Elka is pointing why we are celebrating the Women's Day today. It's almost 1 month back, but okay, we just find the perfect moment today to get together these three wonderful women that are working so hard, and as we say, better later than never. Okay, so going on with our discussion, we have some questions that we have received through the WhatsApp, and this is one question that may also bring maybe the opinion of the three of you. How to break this vicious cycle of searching happiness outside? What do you want to say about? Maybe Shreyasi can give us some light, and then if Kritika or Puja want to add something, please be welcome.
To find happiness within ourselves is a long process. It is not that easy. It is very easy for us to discuss it here. It is very difficult for us to follow it in our lives. But we need to do it step by step. How? I'll tell you. One, we need to start spending time with ourselves, not alone, not in loneliness or something, not because you don't have any friends or you don't want to spend time with your family or you're heartbroken or whatever. No, just because you should sit and think about how your day went, about how happy you are about the things that you received today. You should be gratitude. One, we do not pay gratitude to anything that we have. From the morning cup of tea to the time that you are lying in your bed at night, you need to pay gratitude for everything in the entire day. Once you start doing that, you understand the value of your life. When you understand the value of your life, you do not compare yourselves to others. And therefore, one of the suffering that comes from comparison, it is halted right there. Then again, when you start spending time with yourself, you develop creativity, you write journals, or you sing songs, or maybe you play an instrument, you do anything creative just for yourself. That gives you a sense of mental peace. That is happiness. You cannot instantly reach to the periphery of Sat Chit Anand, but you can always try and reach there. It is a difficult path, but it is only difficult until and unless we do not put our best foot forward to reach there. Once we do that, it is the easiest path that is known. Thank you.
Thank you, Shreyasi. Kritika or Puja want to add something?
I would like to say that, first of all, we need to take a pause. Like, we don't realize what actually happiness is. We need to realize that everything is present in the nature in abundance, everything. We just have to be there in that moment. We are always rushing. If I have to go to office, oh, I'm getting late, get a fast, get a bath. We are always rushing. We are never there in the moment, enjoying that moment. So the day we take a pause, be calm, and then do things, we'll realize that life is not that difficult. Stop rushing and just be there, enjoy the moment. Then every day will be a happy day. Thank you.
Puja,
Yes,
you
yes.
want to add something, please?
It's a very simple line, and you all must have heard this 1,000 million times. What is happiness for you? Like, we cannot tell, right? What is happiness? Na? The one who asked this question, how to break this cycle. So it will depend on you. If my happiness is just having an amazing cup of tea, I'll be okay. Finding happiness is simple when you know what happiness is for you. So it will be very simple if you know what you want, if you'll be clear. So clarity is what you need, that will make you happy. This is what I think. If you find your clarity, you will be happy, and definitely you will break that cycle. There won't be a cycle to start with. Thank you.
Thank you to you for such deep and unique questions. Really, we are getting a lot of inspiration from all of you. And okay, I'll bring one more question that just was sent in the chat. I guess it's addressed specifically to Kritika, but of course, Puja and Shreyashi, feel free, of course, to add whatever you want to add. It says, Kritika, what about the fulfillment, I guess, of Dharma related to your subject? Okay. I guess that's the question, and maybe some typing mistakes.
If you could ask me directly, that would be really nice.
Yeah, it's coming from Sister Shanti.
Sister Shanti, please, if you could ask me here, like on audio.
Let's, Sister Shanti, if you want to unmute yourself. Let me see. I don't know. Okay. Oh, I don't think I'm asking to unmute. Okay, maybe she's not available to unmute. So let's see if she comes later, maybe, or if you can just answer I guess what I understand is she is asking about the relationship of the fulfillment of Dharma related to your specific subject regarding
As in comparison,
what I mean. Yeah, the comparison and yeah.
So fulfillment, like what do you mean by fulfillment? What is the first thing which strikes your mind when you say fulfillment? I believe that fulfillment is when I am giving my 100% and I'm not thinking about, for example, Sister Shriyashi gave her speech, Sister Puja gave her speech. So if I would have thought, oh, are they going to be better than me, or is the audience going to clap more for them than me, then I will never be fulfilled, I will never be happy, and I will never be satisfied. First of all, I need to be satisfied that I am going to give my 100% to each and everything I will perform. Then only there will be a thought in my mind that, okay, I am done with my part. Now, rest, which is not in my control, should be left to the powers, to the great mighty powers. Then definitely you will feel contentment, fulfillment, and satisfaction. This is what I understand. Thank you.
Thank you, Kritika. Puja or Shreyashi want to add something? It's okay, otherwise we go to the next question. There is a question here by Sadeshna Yi saying, my question is that how to end the cycle of Shadripu? I don't know. Oh, okay. And Shanti Kritika is saying, Sister Shanti Ji is saying, you answered what I wanted. Sorry, I'm not able to talk. Okay, that was great, Kritika. Yeah. So regarding Sadeshna Yi's question about how to end the cycle of Shradipur, maybe Shreyashi wants to answer something. I can see she opens her mic right now.
So, Shadaripu, as I had already told earlier, that there are 6 dacoits, 6 enemies of our mind. That is desire, anger, greed, attachment, pride, and jealousy. How to end this vicious cycle? The best way to end this vicious cycle, it is like a fire. आग में जितना ईंधन डालेंगे, उतना ही आग बढ़ेगी. अगर उसमें ईंधन डालना बंद कर देते हैं तो आग जलना बंद कर देती है. वैसे ही, if we keep on fulfilling our desires without knowing what the result will be, without caring about the result, just doing it for the sake of pleasure, because we need to know one thing is that where we reach, our end is necessary, yes, but our means are extremely important. The path that we choose to reach the end is very important as it depicts our intention, our thoughts, and our actions. This is who we are. So, to exactly know where we are going, we must always choose a path of dharma. And in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that कर्मण्ये वाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फल हेतुर्भुर्मा te sangostva karmani, which means that we should always keep working. We should not wait for the result. We should not want something in return. Whereas we should fulfill our work. We should fulfill our karma without wanting anything in return. This is how we will free ourselves of desire. And once desire is over, I do not think there will be any anger, pride, greed, attachment, or jealousy left. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sriyashi. If Kritika or Puja want to add something, Puja, please.
I think being conscious to all the activities you do or being aware of all the emotions you feel can help you to break the cycle. Being aware of all the emotions, for example, if you're attached to something, you should know that you're attached, because now we humans are not aware that we are attached to something or some person or anything. No, we feel very frustrated when that thing or when somebody is not around or whatever. If it is a separation moment, we are very frustrated about it. But when, if we if we take a pause, understand, be consciously consciously think about it, what is exactly I am feeling, to know what you are feeling, this could help you to stop it. Because if these things are hurting us, it is also one of the human nature. If we think that there is danger or there is some harmful things around us, we'll stop then and there. But when we don't know, we cannot stop. So being conscious or being aware of all the emotions that we feel or we will be feeling, at that time that awareness could help us to stop and to break the chain. That is what I think. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Kritika, you want to add something, or shall we go with the next question?
They have very well explained. So let's move.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, there is a question. What do you think is the origin? Maybe Sriyashi can answer, but also Kritika and Puja, because I guess this affects all of us. Why, especially these new generations, what do you think it is the origin of wanting everything instantly and fast, and how the knowledge of Theosophy can help us to understand that?
As Sister Kritika already pointed out, that we should all live in the moment. If we start living in the moment, I don't think we will be able to think about, we will not be very futuristic. What has happened is that since the time we've been born and we went to school, our parents kept on telling us, now you have to study, you have to go, you are in high school, then you have to study, you are in class 12, you have your boards, then now you have to study because you're in college, then you will be working one day, then you will become a mother or father to somebody, or a husband or wife to somebody. And so we've always been under so much pressure of what we are going to be, that we are unable to enjoy what we are. Who we are right now is very important for us to understand. So if we understand that we must enjoy the moment, we must cherish the relationships that we have. Relationships may be few, but one real relationship is better than 1,000 fake ones. I think that is what we need to do, so that we free ourselves from this whole running towards different things. We basically run towards different things because we are dissatisfied with what is happening in the present moment. And this dissatisfaction is because we are not present in that moment 100%. I think if we are present in that moment 100%, we are giving everything that we have, we will not be dissatisfied and we will enjoy our life. Thank you.
Thank you. Some of you, Puja or Kritika, want to add something? Yeah, Kritika?
Yeah, as Sister she said that we are always running and running and running. Like it's like a splash. We celebrate New Year, and then some days later again the next year comes and again we celebrate New Year. So we don't actually realize that when our school get finished, when we got passed out from college, and then now we are doing some job, we are maybe in a corporate or some other sector, and then when we actually become old and we have like nothing to do, maybe then we take a pause and then we think, what is the purpose of our life? But if we start thinking right from the start, that why did I wake up this morning? I might have been dead. but I got the opportunity to wake up. So what is the purpose of my life? Then I think we'll be more focused and we'll be more towards the center, and we might be giving more or showing more gratitude towards each and everything which is happening towards and around us. So that is what I think. Thank you.
Okay, Puja, if you want to add something, it's okay. Yeah, actually, as Kritika just pointed, and it was pointed all along the speeches, gratitude. And gratitude is what we are having right now. I guess words are very, very limited to describe all the learning, all the good feelings, all the vitality that we have had during this session. I must confess that I completely lose the track of time. Now I am looking at the clock and I see we are running really short of time, because it was so engaging, so well presented from all of you, that we really feel that continuity of the work for the not only the Theosophical movement, but also for the awake of humanity in these three young, wonderful women that are with us today. We want to thank, in behalf of Pragya CS Studio, to all of you, to all the delegates that joined us today, making vibrant and full of life this discussion. I'm so sad that the time is over. I could go on and on with you guys for hours, but as we know, everything that has a beginning has an end, and the end has reached to us today. So thank you very much. Please keep going on, keep doing that wonderful job, keep inspiring people around you and in all the spheres of your life. Now I want to invite Professor Shinde would like to say some words. Please, Professor Shinde, it will be our honor and pleasure to listen to your words today. If you can, please open your microphone. And
yeah,
thank you very much.
Thank you, all the three. We are looking at women's power, and we've forgotten the time. Even Catalina also forgot the time. Very nice. You all replied to the questions also. And this is what the women power is. You can do much things. And also you are responsible. All is there with you. Truth, beauty, and power. All three are there. So you have to utilize it. And because of you, this women power, the spirituality or goodness will definitely prosper. I am very happy to listen you all, and keep it up. I am very happy, actually, all of you. You spoke very well and also discussed nicely. What I liked is you replied to the questions very aptly, in short, but full of understanding. Thank you very much. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you very much, Professor Shinde. Well, now I invite Shikar for making the closing prayer and share with us some information regarding our next week's meeting. Shikar, please, I will just give you the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Catalina. And along with the speakers, I thank the moderator also, who made this a completely Women's Day event. And thank you all the participants once again, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And again, before we go on to the closing of the session, I would like to share the information of the meeting on the next Sunday. That is, Pragya CS Studio invites you for a session by Dr. Enrique Reg Pintado, who is the president of Inter-American Theosophical Federation. And he'll be speaking on how to argue without leaving scars or scares. that's a very interesting subject, because arguments are definitely part of our life in whatever relation we have, until unless the people have become adepts, of course. So, but how to do even if there is an argument, how to reconcile or how to deal with it so there are no scars. And the date is 10th of April, same 5 p.m. time and 11:30 a.m. GMT, 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Also, the same can be seen on Pragya CS Studio YouTube channel. And also, before going for final closing prayer, I would like to say that it has been a very wonderful session, and it looks that the future of Theosophy in India is in safe hands, especially with our sisters, young sisters, who have so much passion and the courage to put their thoughts without any hesitation and sharing with everyone and taking the responsibility in their own hands and become very, very self-reliant. And although we could not celebrate Women's Day earlier, but as Catalina said, better late than never. So now in the end, let us all come together in heart and mind and use all our willpower and thought power for the welfare of the whole manifestation. Wherever anybody, anything, anyone is suffering. I'll do in Sanskrit today because it's all Indians here, so everybody understands Indian, and Catalina is also half Indian, so she also understands this mantra. Oh. Sarvesham swastirбhavatu, Sarvesham purnam bhavatu, Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu, Sarvesham shantir bhavatu, Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, Sarve santu niramaya, Sarve bhadrani pashyantu, Ma kaschid dukha bhag bhave. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you everyone once again, and have a great day ahead, week ahead, years ahead, and all the very best wishes to in your careers, and we'll keep seeing you in different forums, listening to your thoughts, and all the best wishes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Really, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thanks to you. It was wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank
and
you.
thanks, Shika. You brought the male energy that is just the complement of the female energy. That's the balance to the end of this.
You two are really amazing. I want to say you two are really, really amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it's so amazing to have you.
Yes.
All of you. I'm living very happy and full of, I cannot describe what is going on inside of me right now. It's so, so great to hear you guys. Okay, guys, no, ladies. Okay, so.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Enjoy,
Thank you.
take care, stay safe.